Hello, I'm Karina Charles and welcome along to another episode of Country Focus. I'm on the Cavan Monaghan border today where I'm going to be visiting Carton Brothers Manor Farm Chickens. Carton Brothers Manor Farm Chicken have been producing great food with care since 1775. Located in County Cavan, Carton Brothers, now in its 8th generation, take pride in producing high quality products that are fully traceable from feed mill, farm to fork. Meanwhile, Will is heading to Ballyborough on a visit to Terra Ltd. Terra have been developing and producing quality cream liqueurs for the international market for over 30 years, with cream sourced from Irish cows. Well, we've got a mouth-watering show for you today, so let's get cracking. Well, I'm here with Michael Courtney and his grandson Dean, and we're here just outside of Carrickmere Cross. Michael, you're involved in free-range chicken farming. What's the difference?
Well, there's a smaller amount of them in the shed. They have
free reign of this land?
Yes, they have 3 acres to roam about on.
And how long are you involved in farming? And chicken farming especially?
Well, chicken farming, I'm involved for 5 years in the chicken farming. Yeah, I was at Paul Turkey before that. I'm at the chickens for 5 years.
Yeah, and maybe describe a typical day for you here with the chickens.
Well, the free range is, they're let out in the mornings, they can forage for themselves then, they're back in the evening to get fed in the evening then, but during the day they have to look out.
So they come out and they actually find their own food. I'm watching them here.
And they'll find their own food. You'll see them picking at grass and stones and
bits of worms or whatever.
I suppose there'll have to be some of them too, yes.
Yeah.
There's times just to you'll go through them and check them and see that they're all okay and that there's nothing wrong and see that equipment and everything is okay.
And so they're fed twice a day in the house here?
Yes.
And then the rest of the time they come out and they kind of look after themselves?
They look after themselves,
yeah.
up the fields.
And when you open the doors in the morning, is there a bit of a race out?
There is indeed, there is indeed. It's for who can get first out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say this man is a good help, is he? Dean, are you going to be a farmer when you grow up? Good man. Yeah, he's a shy man so far.
He's not shy,
when the camera go off, he wouldn't be. Well, look at Michael. Thanks a million for showing us around your chicken farm. And we'll talk to you again soon.
That's great.
I've come to Ballyborough in County Cavan today to visit Terra Ltd, who make a range of Irish cream liqueurs. Let's go and take a look. I'm here with Patsy and Sean McKevitt of Terra Ltd. Patsy, perhaps we could start with you telling us a bit about the background of the business.
In 1975, cream liqueur took off in Ireland. Irish cream liqueur took off in Ireland. In 1978, we on this site here started our first cream liqueur exported in the United States called Orange Emmett. A company called Orange Emmett on the brand name Emmett. In 1991, I became plant manager here with Bailey's, and we expanded the site. In 1995, when the Bailey's strategy changed, and there was an opportunity here to keep the brands on site, the demo brands on site, people on site, and then at that stage, I went forward and done the management buyout.
So Patsy, in 1995, you were the architect of a management buyout which effectively saved the plant here.
That's correct, yeah, and jobs, and to some extent the brands. And then we had to start reinvent the wheel and recommence making our own brands of cream liqueur and cream liqueur for generally for other third-party customers.
So a massive turning point in the company was...
Yes, in 2003 it was a massive turning point because we had to start afresh with our own brands and source out third-party customers.
From 2003, under the stewardship of Patsy and Katrina, wife Katrina, Terra has become one of the leading specialists in Irish cream. Can you take us through that, Sean? What's happened since then? Obviously, massively changed since you joined the company in 2005.
Absolutely, yeah. Things evolved. But basically, as Patsy just mentioned, Terra suddenly became under contract in 2003, and we went from a company with large growth phases to a company which started off back into a new life cycle of initial growth stages. And it was at this time that Patsy had to make a hard decision that in order for the company to survive, that we had to start producing and marketing our own brands, along with kind of regenerating the image of the company as a leading specialist in producing high quality Irish cream liqueurs.
So you were really starting from scratch in 2003. You had the history, you had the knowledge, you had the experience,
yes.
But you really had to redesign a whole new company.
Absolutely, yeah. And back then in 2003, I suppose the company went through a few bleak periods where the order books were relatively empty, but thankfully after a lot of hard work and persistence and of course market penetration, we've regained former glories and got volumes back up. And today we employ 30 people on a full-time basis. That can increase by a further 30% based on seasonal variations. To give you an estimate, annually we hope to spend about €7 million in the island of Ireland this year on both labour and materials. So it's quite a significant size of a company. Furthermore, Terra would typically export about 95% of what we produce to all 4 different continents. And at last count, we're roughly in about 60 different countries worldwide. So we believe that quality is key, and continuous improvement and investment in our plant and in our brands is key for success and key for growth. And thankfully we have been awarded with our efforts because we have seen double-digit growth over the last number of years.
Well, I'm here with Vincent Carton, Managing Director of Carton Brothers Manor Farm. How are you today, Vincent?
Thank God I'm great.
Good. Listen, this company has a long history. Where did it all begin?
Well, it began back in Dublin in 1775 when we owned a livery stable down near the fruit and vegetable markets. There was also a fish market down there and a meat market. And it was a George Carton at that stage, and he saw that there was no poultry market. So he started one. And at that stage, poultry was really about boiling fowl. And boiling fowl were hens, old hens, who basically came to the end of their egg-laying life. And the only way they could be eaten is by boiling them for about 3 hours. Very tough meat. Where it originated was on the farmyards of Ireland, because the housewife, who usually looked after these animals, she wanted eggs. She wanted food all year round. So she allowed a clutch of eggs to be brewed by the hen, and baby chicks came out. And those chicks would become the hens for the following year. And as I said, when they got to the end of their life, their necks were pulled, and about a dozen of them were tied together with a label for cartons. And there was a whole system right across the country of getting that produce to railway stations. And obviously we picked them up from the terminus in Dublin, Houston today in Connolly. We'd pick them up from there, and we'd bring them to our market in the fruit market area of Dublin, and we would auction it off, take off our commission and send a postal order back to Mrs. O'Brien. And what was interesting about that was for about 150 years, they didn't know us and we didn't know them, but it was based on trust, and your word is your bond.
Now, Vincent, bringing you back to some of the family ties and the lineage, there's 8 generations.
Yeah, I'm the 8th with my brother Justin. We're actually, which is unusual for business, of 8 generations. There's still only 2 shareholders. We're both 50-50. Right. Which is unusual in itself.
You're here in County Cavan. How did the whole plant come here?
Yeah, well, by the 1960s, we had started getting into what was then called a broiler chicken. That was an American term, because these small chickens that could be produced little roasting, they were broiled on charcoal. So it was very much about a barbecue type bird. And we at that stage started producing these barnyard chickens. Actually, it was the farmers that started to produce them. So we very quickly got to know the farmers, and we started to synchronize them, telling week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and thereby we could continuously supply the market and build a market. At the same time, supermarkets were arriving in Ireland, and what they wanted was, they wanted a bird processed. They didn't want the feathers on it, and they didn't want, they wanted it cleaned out. So we started that, oh my goodness, back in 1961, I think it was, in just off Capel Street, in the same area, in Linenhall, Dublin. Yes. By the 1970s, Ireland was joining the EU, and there was a whole new standard required in food production. And so my father brought the company up here to Shercock, County Cavan. And the reason he chose Cavan was for 2 reasons. One was to be close to the grower base, because as you can appreciate, chicken feed is low in value, very bulky, and chickens, they're relatively large in number, and again, relatively low in value. So transport cost was hugely important.
And also, I mean, I know that you source your chicken, a lot of it comes from this area, from Cavan, Monaghan, Louth probably as well.
Yeah, well, we have 3 core principles within our business. The first is Irish. All of our chicken is only Irish. That can't be said for everybody else, but for us it is 100% Irish. The second thing is we are not farmers, but we work with contracted farmers. So we have 162 contracted farmers in this area, in the northeast. Yes, you're right, some in Meath and Louth, but most in Monaghan and Cavan. And the final thing is traceability. So for us, it is extremely important that the food that you eat is totally traceable back, not just to the animal, but to what the animal consumed. Because if you think of all the food scares there have been in food, most of it comes from the food they eat. And in this case, we built our own feed mill to make sure that we know what feed our birds are eating, and we only supply ourselves.
And something I'd like to actually talk about as well is, you said, and I've never seen this before, I'm going to pick up this chicken here, the Manor Farm fresh Irish chicken.
Yes.
And what I see here is traceability back to the quality assured farm of, and we have a name. We actually have the farmer's name and his address on the chicken. So really, you can't get more than that.
Yeah, well, this is our core traceability concept. Every single product that comes out of this factory will have a farmer name and address, because it's the farmer that produces it.
Yes.
We, as it were, prepare for market.
Yeah.
And so the key for us is to get the link between the shopper and the farmer, and we're proud to put the farmer's name and address on it. Today you've got families who are now back in the area, and young people in our staff. As we go around, you'll see we've some 3rd generation people in our staff.
3rd generation workers.
3rd generation, their grandparents worked here with my dad first.
Yeah.
The parents have been here, now the children are coming in. A lot of them for holiday work, but we're into the 3rd.
Still important.
And in our farmers, we have, I think it's 7 farmers who are in our 3rd generation, plenty in 2nd. So we've over 162. Yes, we believe chicken farmers are the best chicken farmers are the sons and daughters of our existing.
But listen, we've talked lots about the company, its background. Let's get down on the floor now and see what you do.
Great.
I'm here now with Seamus Hamill. It's a really exciting place. This is the processing plant at Terra, and Seamus is the quality manager. Tell us what goes on in here, and tell us how Irish cream goes from this processing plant to the Dominion of Culinary Republic or wherever, and what it has to go through in order to achieve that.
Well, today we're actually making cream liqueur for the Dominican Republic.
Right.
First of all, I'd just like to give you the background about the cream that comes in. Every batch of cream that comes in is tested.
Yep.
And then we cross-reference that with the lab.
Right.
And once it's approved, we're ready to start batching. Every batch of cream that's brought in has full traceability.
Okay.
Basically, we can trace back the cream all from the cow to the bottle.
Wow, and these are all local cows, of course?
These are all in the local area. Supply Lakeland Dairies, which is down the road, which supplies us the cream. We carry out full traceability throughout the whole batch. All approved suppliers, all cream that comes in, we can literally trace back all the way back to the tag number in the herd of animals. It's that good.
Fantastic.
We can. We also work very closely with Lakeland Dairies to ensure the high quality cream that comes in. Right. They ensure us that the dairy farmers that supply them are certified and registered with the Animal Health and Welfare. Brilliant. So this ensures that we can actually trace back completely.
Seamus, there's a wonderfully kind of sweet smell in here. I take it that's the sugar, right?
The sugar, yeah.
Okay, so tell us how Irish cream is made.
Right, well, first of all, the cream is brought in at 8 o'clock every morning.
Yep.
Then we bring it in, we put it into tank 18 here, and it is mixed with sugar and water.
Okay.
It's agitated and left.
Yep.
And after a while, we leave it to pasteurize.
Okay.
Now, the cream is pasteurized when it does come in.
Yep.
But we pasteurize again just to ensure that there's no microbial growth in the cream liqueur product at all. Then, after we leave that to grease mix, we then move on to make our alcohol mix.
Right.
Alcohol mix is over here in tank 11.
Yep.
It's basically consists of your Irish spirit, whiskey, and natural and chocolate vanilla flavors.
Okay.
So we make this up. As you can see, Peter has the mix made here. Is that here?
That looks lovely.
Yeah. So this is the mix here, and we bring that over to the lab and we test it.
Right.
When this has been tested and approved, we're ready to start our grease mixing. Now, our grease mixing is the mixer, an online mixer.
Okay.
And it works at such a high speed that it fuses, marries the blend of the cream base and the alcohol mixed together without the alcohol curdling the cream in the product. So it's transferred over to another tank, tank 19 here behind us, and it then is reheated. When it's reheated, we're then ready to homogenize.
Right.
Homogenization is basically, it prepares the product itself by, it breaks down the fat globules in the cream.
Yeah.
And then by then it disperses them equally throughout. So it's a uniform in the composition completely.
Okay.
So during the homogenization, we constantly check the micropicture, which is the picture underneath the microscope.
Yep.
And when we finally see it broken down into little grains of sand, basically, that's when we're ready to forward flow.
Okay.
And the forward flow is carried out through the cooling and then straight on to one of the final product tanks.
Wow, and so how long does the whole thing take? I mean, once you have the cream and once you have the alcohol from that mixture to the bottle?
To the bottle, well, it can take, we like to get products, a batch made in one day.
Yep.
And then moved on and ready to bottle maybe later that day or the following day.
Fantastic. And where's all the bottling done?
Bottling goes down in the bottling plant.
Brilliant.
And with every batch that's made, the code is made as added to the batch. The batch code is then put on the bottle. So then once again we have full traceability from the customer all the way back to any raw material that we bring in.
Wow. So Irish cream made in this plant is literally exported all over the world.
All over the world, yeah.
From cows bred in Cavan and milked in Cavan.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Justin Carton, one of the Carton Brothers. What is your role here within the company?
My role is mostly to do with IT and lean, which is all about efficiency. So here we are in the packing hall, which is the main action of the plant.
It's a very busy area. Everything is happening here. Can you talk us through the stages of this process?
Sure. First of all, the birds are coming down from upstairs where they've been chilled. It's a two-stage process of chilling. So the birds are deep core muscle, less than 4 degrees, and the air temperature is 4 degrees. And it's active chilling. That's why all the people look rather well wrapped up.
And that's why I'm suited here
yes,
as well.
It is cold out there, but you get used to it. So the idea here is that the birds have been chilled, and we want to keep them chilled. And when the birds come down, they are weighed. Each individual bird is weighed, and then they are graded.
Now, this is the really interesting bit, I think, as well.
Okay.
This is for me to see, there's a photograph taken of every single bird that comes into this floor.
Yes.
That's
every
amazing.
individual bird is safe. And not only are each bird is, the picture is taken, but when these lines appear, that's not a fault on the screen. That's actually the machine saying, I see a problem here.
Okay.
And that is then used to grade the birds into a 15 category grading. So it identifies every fault on the bird, each individual bird, and the weight. So we now have the weight and the quality of the bird at an individual bird level.
As they come into the...
As they come in. And remember that all of the birds in a sequence on the chain, if you think of the processing as one long chain, all of the birds have come from one farm.
Right.
From one house on one farm, even down to one gender in one farm. We keep the cocks and the pullets separated, if they're separated.
Yeah.
And we know exactly what has gone into the bird to come in here. So for example, any bird that you see out there, I could take a bird and I could go to the mill and give you a sample of each piece of food that that bird had, every batch that that bird had. We have a sample of that food. So the traceability is very strong to the point here. So all the birds in a section on the chain is essentially from the same house, same gender. And now we are identifying each individual bird, the weight and the quality.
Yes, of that bird.
Of that bird.
That's fascinating. So as they make their way through the first stage, what happens next?
Okay, so once we've got that, we then allocate the bird to what we want to do with it. So for example, we've got whole bird orders, we've got portion orders. In fact, on each individual day, we're producing about 600 different products.
Yeah. Well, I'm learning lots about chicken today. I'm going to go to the factory floor now to chat to a few of the employees. So listen, we're down here on the factory floor. It's quite noisy, but can you tell me your name and where you come from?
My name is Tariq Ali. I'm from Egypt. I work in Carton Brothers since 2002.
What's your name?
My name is Erica.
And Erica, where are you from?
Lithuania.
Lithuania. How long are you here in Ireland?
8, 9 years.
And are you in Carton Brothers the whole time?
No, I'm in Carton about 7.5 years.
7.5 years. And I can see you've a polo neck on. It's pretty cold down here, isn't it?
It is.
Benny, how long are you with the company?
I joined the company on the 22nd of January 1971.
You even remember the date?
I do remember it well, yes.
Must have been an important date for you, wasn't it?
It was, well, at that time, jobs were very scarce around this area, you know, so I was delighted to get the opportunity to join the Carton Brothers, you know.
Well, I've come up from the factory floor and I'm here with Dara Smith. Dara, we're in the value-added centre, am I right?
You are indeed, yes.
What happens here?
This is where we add value to all our chicken products. And as you can see here, the ladies are doing it's a corn-fed supreme chicken, and it's very high-end market product. We have a cream cheese stuffed inside, and then
yum.
it's actually wrapped in bacon, and the bacon is sourced locally as well, along with the chicken. So fabulous products. Most of the meals here are already cooked meals and that, so it's pretty easy for the housewife just to stick in the oven.
Or the house husband.
Or the house husband.
Yeah. To do it, and then here we have a little garnish of some sort.
We add a slight sprinkle of parsley.
Lovely on top.
Just a garnish on top.
I'm getting hungry now, and it's getting near lunchtime as well. Well, I'm here with Zandra now, the new product development manager. Zandra, we were down on the factory floor and we prepared some beautiful food. Let's take a look at it now.
Okay.
So Zandra, what exactly do we have here?
What we have here are 2 corn-fed chicken breast supremes, Borbia approved chicken with fresh cream cheese and wrapped in Irish streaky bacon. This product here is a puff pastry en croûte with chicken mini fillets in it, pesto cream cheese and sun-dried tomato pieces.
Well, that sounds gorgeous. Now, this is how they come, and then what happens next?
The consumer gets the product in the foil tray, whips off the film and pops it into the oven. This product cooks at 190 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes. This product here cooks at 190 for about 30 to 35 minutes, and then it's a ready to eat convenient dinner for the consumer. Very easy to cook and then to prepare and serve.
Well, speaking of that, can we put them in the oven because I'm getting hungry?
Okay.
Is our food ready?
Yes, all ready and cooked.
Oh, lovely. Let's take it out. Beautiful. So this is the first one. This is what again?
This is the chicken en croûte with mini fillets, pesto and sun-dried tomatoes.
Oh, I can't wait to tuck in. It smells absolutely gorgeous and looks beautiful and so simple. And this one?
This one is our corn-fed chicken supreme with cream cheese and Irish streaky bacon.
And I mean, these products have won numerous awards, products like this.
Products like these have won many awards. We've been winning awards for our product development since 2009. We have won numerous awards at the Great Taste and Blossom Heron.
Oh, the smell is beautiful. I can't wait to tuck in. And I mean, the benefits of chicken are really, there's a lot of benefits to chicken.
There is. Chicken is a very versatile product. It's high in protein, very low in fat, very easy to cook, available in so many forms. So there's dark meat for people who like thighs and legs, and then there's the breasts or mini fillets for anybody who likes to maybe stir fry or stuff it and things like that.
So let's play it up. Okay.
Well, we've learned a bit about the history of the business, we've seen how it's made, and now we get a chance to look at the final product. And there's no better man to talk about that than Carl Keenan, Terra's Sales and Marketing Director. Carl, are you going to let me taste this or what?
Absolutely will, yeah. First, I'd like just to give you a bit of background.
Right.
Ireland, you know, is washed by the Atlantic Ocean rain. So we create great grass, which creates great dairy, and we believe it's the best dairy in the world. Right. Married to that, we've got a long history in whiskey distilling. So some guy came up with a bright idea in the 70s of marrying the two, the whiskey and the cream, the dairy. And through technology that was made possible. So that's kind of a little nutshell of where Irish creams came from. But it was only very recently, only in the 70s, that this actually happened.
Right.
So married to that, we add chocolate and vanilla flavouring,
okay,
and indeed other flavours. But the predominant ones are chocolate and vanilla. So I'd like you to try one of our more luxurious Irish creams, which would be under the Deluxe brand, which is available in Lidl.
Should it always be drunk with ice?
Not at all.
No?
Ice is probably the most common way of consuming, the most enjoyable way of consuming. However, in coffee, over ice cream, and now in cooking, I mean, cheesecakes, very popular to use Irish cream liqueurs in cheesecakes.
Brilliant.
So there you go.
Super, thank you. So this is the Deluxe. This is the full name of it?
Deluxe Irish Cream Liqueur.
Brilliant. I'm going to smell it first.
Sláinte.
That smells delicious. Carl, it tastes delicious. And on what occasion would one drink an Irish cream?
Well, typically it's those occasions where you want a little bit of indulgence. Just a small bit of indulgence, like having a bar of chocolate. It's the type of drink you'd have among friends or with family. They say of Irish cream liqueurs, you wouldn't drink an Irish cream liqueur with an enemy, for example.
I see.
It also makes a great gift and is very suitable to bring to a dinner party instead of a bottle of wine. Something a little bit different and again indulgent and enjoyable.
Right, so let's move on to Dundalgan. This is another Lidl own brand, an Irish country cream. Tell me about this one.
That's right. Well, this product is lighter in alcohol than the likes of Deluxe and offers great value to the consumer.
And it's also an award winner.
And it's an award winner as well. Yes, it won the gold in the Blas na HÉireann Food and Drink Awards, which is the National Irish Food and Drink Awards.
It's lovely. It's refreshing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's delicious. Thank you, Carl. So along with producing Irish cream for retailers, you also have your own brands. And this is one of them.
We've a range of brands. And Molly's will be, I guess, a similar style of product to Deluxe Irish Cream. It's a luxurious cream liqueur, Irish cream liqueur. And we sell this in many markets, 50 markets worldwide. From as far afield as Outer Mongolia, China, Russia, and then across over the Atlantic over to the States, Canada, Chile.
Wow, so that's mostly export?
Brazil. 95% export, 98% export in fact.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Carl, the interior is obviously a thriving business. You have your products available all over the world. What's the secret to the success of the company?
Very simply, Will, it's really about what's in the bottle. It's a great tasting product and the value that we give to the consumer. Once consumers taste the product, they come back to it, and that's what drives our business. We have a long, long history, as Patsy alluded to earlier, in cream liqueur manufacture. One of the longest established cream liqueur plants in the world, and we've got a wealth of experience and a pride in producing quality Irish cream liqueurs.
Well, we have come to the end of another Country Focus. Remember to visit our Facebook page and please join us again next week. Bye for now.